Good evening. This is Travis Waldstein with Air Serve Heating and Air Conditioning, Waldstein HVAC in Council Bluffs, Iowa. For those that you don't know, we own a heating and air conditioning here in Council Bluffs, but I've had a podcast for the last year called Circle of Trades, and we've decided that we want to bring it more to the video aspect. So we're kind of playing with this tonight a little bit. So you can all critique and tell me how terrible the video and audio is later. But uh, I brought in remote from Underwood, Iowa, my son, the president of Waldstein Plumbing, Hayden Waldstein, to discuss issues of the day. Hayden, how you doing tonight?
It's going good. Hanging out with my wife and my dog Dennis.
Yeah, so you
So
got Dennis. I got Zoe, and I got Buford, and I got Stella. So you got the rolling fur ball going on there. So, but for those of you that don't know, we last week or last Friday we've been working on this for quite a while. And I say we. Hayden's been doing most of the work, but um, we've been doing a. We've been working to get the Wallstein plumbing off the ground, and Hayden, do you want to give a little bit of an update about what's going on with that?
uh big work in progress. So going through need to get stuff correct as far as going through talking with the city, doing permits, inspections, all that stuff. Brought a mini excavator for doing some underground work and going through and like water main repairs and then mainline septic repairs and mainline sewer repairs. So doing some of that different stuff and then going through and looking at um, potentially doing some other stuff as far as underground new construction potentially and quite a bit quite a quite a bit of different stuff that you can go through and do
Mm-hmm.
with a mini excavator as far as the plumbing industry is
Yeah.
concerned.
So with the plumbing stuff, and I we and me have had this conversation, but kind of what are you looking to get into? I mean, there's new construction, there's service, there's underground, there's drain work, and obviously there's different commercial facets. Uh, what are you thinking? What's going to be? What are you thinking that the I mean, right now we'll take any phone calls, but I mean, realistically, um, what kind of business are you looking to jump into? What are you kind of finding that you're wanting to type of work you want to look at?
Going forward, looking at definitely some utility stuff more as far as like the commercial. There's different city and state contracts that may be coming up. Going through and looking at bidding some of those and running those city and state contracts. Uh, as far as that, I mean, potentially going through and maybe look at going through and jumping into the septic field
Mm-hmm.
and dealing with that. Um, don't want to get super big into new construction. Would go through and consider like quite a bit of commercial new construction, but when it comes down to new construction, don't really want to go through and deal with all the headaches and everything
Yeah.
else. If there's an opportunity down the road, maybe look at some, but we go through and build it as a total mechanical for a new construction
Yeah, yeah.
service.
Well, and then one of the things I know we've talked about too a little bit, which I think is exciting. Like I said, the utilities, the underground work, so your, sewer drains, your water line, um, and doing a drain clean is probably going to be a big, when I say drain cleans, so blocking that kind of stuff. So, not that we're not going to do other services, but I think that's kind of what we've been talking about uh, going after, and um, we've talked to some people. Right now it's just you, but I got to believe that at some point you're wanting to talk to people that are maybe interested or have some experience doing that would maybe come to work for us. Is that a thought process, or kind of what's your train of thought on that?
Train of thought is just kind of start start with the stuff we know and we've been doing for years, and then expand onto other avenues of the business. I mean, we've been doing plumbing for 10 plus years now with the AirServe franchise. It's been to a limited role just because we haven't wanted to mess around with it, but just go through and expand into a total full service just because there is a need for that in the area and then in the industry. Just because, I mean, call it for it is. I mean, there's 101 people that want to go through and do clean new construction, but there's not that many people that want to go through and get dirty.
Yeah. Well, and for those who haven't had a chance or had just on Hayden look at some of his work, on the plumbing side, he's done some hydronics work underground stuff for us, and I'm your father, so I'll brag here a little bit, but in all honesty, that's something you're really good at. So, like in your new homes and garages or anything, your driveways, that kind of stuff. If you're looking to do, the in floor underground, that's definitely something that would pique your interest too. Am I correct on that?
Oh, definitely. As far as like in floor heat and hydronic heat, I mean, for what you get for your BTU output and everything else and efficiency, it's one of those things that kind of died out for the last 10 to 15 years, but it's coming back a lot more with popularity and just what you can do with it, and how, especially if you have like a garage or a shop or something, how well it will go through and clean the floors and stuff like that. Just keep everything dry, especially if you want to dry vehicles off and everything else. I mean, there's a lot you can do, snow melt and different stuff. So if you don't want to go through and have to spend the money to go through and scoop your driveway, you can go through and heat your driveway with a boiler with a plated heat exchanger. And when you go through and do that, there's a sensor that'll sit down the concrete, and you can go through, and each time it snows or it rains, it gets freezing, that boiler will kick on and it'll melt the snow off your
Yeah,
driveway.
that's pretty cool. That's I mean it's really cool. It's how it works and the technology's advanced. I know 10 years ago, I at that time I didn't want to put in 90 plus boilers, because I was at that time you was worried about the nightmares and the issues and the stories you hear. But as we've got more and more into doing this stuff, we're finding out that the equipment's a lot better than the old 15, 20-year-old cast iron stuff. The efficiencies, the performance, the control, I think works a whole heck of a lot better too. Would you agree with that?
Oh, definitely. Especially a lot of the boilers you see, especially if you're talking to 95 plus efficient boiler. I mean, you're talking about modulating gas valves, modulating inducers. When you go through and you talk about that, I mean, in cascading, you can run multiple boilers at the same time. But say instead of going through, you have one boiler that's running 100%, you're running three boilers at 15%. Your gas consumption can go down. As far as when you're talking about radiant heat, it's a little bit different than gas forced air. And if you're radiating the heat, the concrete or radiant panel or radiators, whatever you go through and use, is going to hold that heat longer than what the air itself is going to hold it. So you'll get a longer, more consistent
Yeah,
heat.
absolutely. So, absolutely. So, but yeah, so it's an exciting time, obviously, with what we got going on. So, but but obviously, we've kind of came out of a cold snap here a couple weeks ago, and now we're kind of popping up. It's almost getting warm again. Starting to warm up. It's a little early for February, but I mean, we had 60 degrees today on February 6th, and who knows what the weather is going to be like. But seems like around the country they say things are slowing up, but it seems like we're looking at a lot of stuff and bid a lot of stuff right now. Which is exciting. Exciting, which is a good thing for us, and I got to believe for others. What are talking to people, people you work with? What are you hearing? What are you seeing as far as stuff going on?
Uh, just kind of depends. I mean, some people want to go through, spend the money, see the value in it. Some people are scared with interest rates, but the interest rates here are supposed to be dropping here towards the end of the year, below 5%. I mean, we had cheap money for about 3 years. For a year, it went through. It's raised a little bit, but I mean, everything's went through and raised, so it's not. Some people go through and get sticker shock with price, but at the end of the day, you can go through and look at it. I mean, it's no different than going to the grocery store, everything else. People's wages also increased, so I mean, it just kind of depends. I mean, if you go out there and look, I mean, you don't have to look very far to find people that are willing to spend the money for quality work. I mean, if you're looking for people that want to shoot to the bottom of the barrel, I mean, there's people there, but I don't want to be in the race to the bottom to put in the cheapest piece of crap that there
Mm-hmm.
is. Rather go through and find some people that look at quality and want to spend the money for quality, and those are the kind of people that we want to go through and do work for. We don't want to go through and do work for people that want the cheapest piece of crap around just because we're not going to
Yeah.
do it. It's not worth their time. It's not worth their
Yeah,
reputation.
absolutely. So yeah, if you're for the race to the bottom, that's not exactly our thing. So, but so exciting times, obviously. So, but as we're waiting for your brother to show up here, and he's going to make a cameo appearance. I want to talk to him about something. Was reading some stuff the other day. They've been talking about 80 plus furnaces going away. I know we very seldom put 80 plus furnaces in, but there is a push for them. Maybe not. The talk is in 2028. Which how does that affect consumers? If you have apartments or you have an upgraded efficiency, they're maybe trying to push that back. What's your initial thought when you hear that? I don't know if I've had a chance to share that with you or not.
So they've already came out with their solution, in my opinion, for the 80% furnace. Their solution is to go all electric. That's why you're seeing a lot of these apartments and stuff talking about air handlers and heat
Mm-hmm.
pumps. It's going to mean upgrading the electrical service just because they don't want to deal with 80% efficient. They want to get rid of the 80% efficient altogether. Well, you got two options. You either run PVC out or you upgrade the
Yeah.
electric. Either one's not going to be very
Yeah.
cheap. So it's, do you go through and make repairs? I mean, I think it's something 10 years from now, if you can't get 80% furnaces, you're probably going to be replacing a lot of heat exchangers and stuff like that for 80% of furnaces because you're not going to want to upgrade the electric or run the
Yeah.
PVC.
No, you're absolutely right. So maybe have to make changes, and have to make decisions on that. I know the other thing that's kind of came up recently, talking with what we do. R410A, the discontinuation date as far as equipment got pushed back 12 months. You're still going to start to see equipment start being switched over to the new, I guess, I don't know, the newest, latest, greatest refrigerant. It might blow up your home, but it's going to be there. So, like I said, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Hayden, but actually, I'm pretty excited about it with the new refrigerant. If they change is good. I don't care about the ozone depletion part of it. I mean, I guess I should. I'm not exactly what I classify as a tree hugger, but I think from the aspect of newer technology stuff coming up, and for people who like green, it's I think it's a good thing it's going to happen. So what's your thought process on with the refrigerant change that's coming?
Well, there's a couple through ticks. So one of the deals them pushing off the new refrigerant for another year. The issue with that is the EPA already came back and said that they're going through and they're reducing production of R410A by 30%, I believe, as May
Yeah,
1. So you're going to see the price of 410A almost double, I'd be willing to bet, since the volume of it's going to be so low and they're pushing off the new
yeah,
refrigerant. But you'll have that. The one thing that's nice about the equipment that's rolling out is rated for the new refrigerant, but the one thing I do like about it is it runs a lot more similar pressures to R22, so we may start seeing less issues we have seen with 410A as far as weeks, anything else, because you're not.
I didn't buy it, but Hayden did. Good afternoon, folks. Travis Waldstein with AirServe Heating, Air Conditioning, Heating and Cooling. Also, the creator of Circle of Trades. We did a podcast the other day with Hayden, and it got cut off a little bit prematurely. We had some unexpected excitement at the Waldstein household. So, for those of you who may or may not know me, my wife is a rather excitable person, so we probably cut off the best part for last. So apologize about that. But I did want to reach out. That yes, we will still be doing the Circle of Trades on Spotify. We're also taking this platform to YouTube, so we can actually do some demonstrations. We can have some live video along with audio, so people can see what we're talking about. We're pretty excited about that. Looking forward to the content that we're going to be able to create. So I would encourage you to keep looking. We'll definitely put the posts up as we forward as we do them on the audio side. But if you want to watch the video too, or just need some background noise at work, we definitely encourage that. Get a lot of positive feedback about what we're doing. So really excited about that. Plan on jumping in some weekly stuff here real shortly. It's just there's an anniversary come up, and I wanted to bring the video format into it. So I apologize about the last couple weeks, but we do plan on having some stuff this week. So and if you got any ideas and are open to, for those of you who want to reach out to me, you more than can. Probably the best way to reach out to me is if you have my phone or, email, or just, send me a message via Facebook, or, call my office and talk to me. So we're looking for guests. We're looking for ideas. My biggest focus, number one, is still getting young people into the trades, talking about opportunities that are available. I think it's important. Have a little bit of fun. Of course, yes, I'm a huge Hawkeye fan, and yes, I'm going to bash the Huskers. So, I take great joy in doing that, just because it's something fun to do, and they don't take it well. So, but anyway, no, Circle of Trades is definitely going to continue next stage in a platform. And hopefully, if you like it, you'll continue to tell your friends about it. But anyway, so we do plan on having a podcast this week, upcoming week. I'm going to have Harley Waldstein come in and talk a little bit about AI. This was a conversation that came up here a week or two ago that I thought was important, and how AI is affecting a lot of stuff that we do in business. And, it seems like the younger kids know a lot more about it than us old fogies do. So we're going to have that. Got someone who's come in and talk CTE. Definitely list some guests. Might be looking at some, definitely want to bring in some more young people, talk about their goals, ambitions, and where they're at in schools. So anyway, keep listening. We appreciate the support and the encouragement. And again, like I said, thank you for everything, and look forward to a new episode next week. Thank you.